Who, Flux, Chapter 5, Survivors of the Flux, the 5th episode of Series 13, is written by Chris Chibnall and starring Jodie Whittaker, Mandip Gill and John Bishop. So this episode brings back Tecteon as another incarnation, whilst revealing the space station she was found on to be the remains of the Division being served by the Ood. It further revealed the space station to be multiversal. Division points in the void between what she labelled Universe 1 and Universe 2, revealing that with the Flux destroying 1, all that is left is moving into 2. This episode also brings back Kate Stewart and Unit. Brilliant! So inside the angel world, the Doctor gets turned into a weeping angel, but she turns back and talking to thousands of weeping angels asking what their plan is. And it's pretty effective that they use the Doctor's voice. Meanwhile, Yaz, Dan and Jericho have been living in early 20th century for 3 years, which means that they're in 1904, and they're at Mexico. And it's pretty funny where Dan crashes through the roof and Yaz is like, hello! So the Doctor ended up in space station escorted by the Ood and met Orsoc, who like I said turns out to be Tecteon, and I think Barbara Flynn is great as Tecteon.
I'm Tecteon. The woman you used to call Mother.
And we also learn that Space Station is a division. Throughout this episode, Yaz, Jericho and Dan travel around the world in 1904. So in Constantinople, as the waiter with snake tattoo came in, Dan hid. Everyone wrestled him, but the waiter eats a poison capsule and dies. So they hid his body and got out. I love the bit where Yaz plays a hologram of the Doctor and calling her a big head. And there's some nice moment where Dan promised Yaz that they will see the Doctor again. So at Nepal, they went up the hill and met Kumar, legendary seer, played by Kami Darwish. I really love him, he's so funny with his humour. So Kumar says, find your dog, which gave Yaz an idea, so they painted a message on the floor, Carvanista, Dan is here, 1904, fed your human. And of course Carvanista can't time travel. And I think Mandip Gill, John Bishop and Kevin McNally are great together as Yaz, Dan and Jericho. Again, I like Steve Orum's performance as Joseph Williamson, especially while he's cursing around the ship and slapping Dan. So Bell met up with Carvanista in England, 1958. Grand Serpent is disguised as a poacher and got praised with his shooting skills. Grand Serpent explains that he works on threats from space, to which Farquhar says that he has been tasked by the United Nations to set up a British task force for that very reason, relieved at having someone more experienced than him around, and requested Grand Serpent to be assistant. In 1967, a Ministry of Defence unit HQ, General Farquhar and Grand Serpent goes on a tour. We get an amazing cameo of Nicholas Courtney as Brigadier Alistair Gordon Lethbridge Stewart.
That's our new corporal. Brought him in after we missed the whole thing at the post office tower.
With the audio clip of his voice from Terror of the Autons. It is pretty special. Thankfully he's not recasted. Also the fact that Farquhar mentioned missing the whole thing in the post office tower, a reference from the War Machines during William Hartnell's run. Brilliant. So inside the office we see the TARDIS and General Farquhar scans and realise that Grand Serpent is not human. And it's horrifying how Farquhar's face went bubbly and killed as Serpent slithered out of his mouth. It's like something off a horror movie. Ugh. To those who think there's a mistake, well, that scene was set in 1967 where Lethbridge Stewart wasn't in charge at the time. Plus he's a corporal like Sergeant Benton was in The Invasion. So Farquhar would have been in charge at the time, and the fact that he was killed, Lethbridge Stewart became in charge of unit known as Colonel Lethbridge Stewart, and a year later is where the Web of Fear happens, as obviously it sets in 1968, which is also the year it was released. So yeah, that's my theory. Robert Bathurst plays General Farquhar, who builds unit in UK. He's brilliant. Plus you can see that the character has reports of Shoreditch incident, sketch of Special Weapon Dalek from Remembrance of the Daleks, Post Office Tower from The War Machines, and Holy Tree Lodge from Torchwood Children of Earth Day 1, which is cool. Craig Parkinson is fantastic as Grand Serpent, aka The Prentice, and it's interesting that he doesn't age a day. In 1987, the Grand Serpent has a dinner with Millington, who's the chairman of the Unit Oversight Committee, and he'll also be retiring, and of course the snake kills Millington from the inside of his body in the car. So in 2017, Kate has already seen through Grand Serpent, knowing he's evil and he's an alien.
Okay.
I am the head of unit, and if you don't stop this, I will expose you.
As she heads back home, There was a bomb on the door, so Kate took cover while it exploded and phoned Osgood that she has to go dark, and then snaps her phone. And it's great to have Gemma Redgrave back as Kate Stewart. It reveals that Grand Serpent is working for Sontarans, which is interesting. Vinder gets trapped between two passenger forms by Swarm and Azure, captured by the passenger, so he wakes up in the stone steps and met Diane. They plan to escape. Meanwhile, at Division, the Doctor questions Tecteon about what the Division is, and that she is the leader. We learn that Division began on Gallifrey as a group to ensure the safety of the galaxy as their ability to travel grew and their horizons broadened. Division kept pace, the number of operatives grew, anything they needed, guided and shaped events. Not every civilization works or enlightened, some require help, some needed to be told. Division assessed and acted accordingly. Colossal across space and time, its influence is unparalleled, its reach is limit, all from the shadows. It achieves its aim beyond their wildest dreams. Division recruits across all dimensions, plus they're not in the universe, there's Universe 1 and Universe 2. A multiverse in Doctor Who is brilliant. It's possible that Peter Cushing's Doctor Who could be out there somewhere. The Doctor wondered if it was true what the Master said about the timeless child, and Tecteon said it is. And of course there's a fob watch containing the Doctor's past memories, a similar looking from Series 3, Human Nature and the Family of Blood 2-part story. And it's nice to see the Ood back. I really do like the Ood. All of a sudden, Swarm and Azure came in and burned Tecteon away, and about to do the same thing to the Doctor.
Now, Doctor, you.
I like the fact that this episode referenced Indiana Jones, with the caves, the map with the red line drawing, and sorting out the puzzles. Nice. I think Jodie Whittaker is brilliant as the 13th Doctor, fantastic performance. What did you think of Survivors of the Flux? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.